Good evening. Hi, everyone. It is me, Dr. Renee, and this is the Ask Dr. Renee Show. I can't believe it. I'm back. So, yes, I took a bit of a long break. It's actually been like a year since I did the show, and I'm glad to be back. But for those that are new, thank you so much for joining us. My show is here to motivate and inspire you to live the life you deserve. Because let's face it, we only have one life, and we might as well enjoy it while we're here, because this is not a dress rehearsal. This is the only one you got. So past guests, we've had Lisa Nichols, we've had Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child, we've had Kwame, the rapper, producer, we've had DJ D Nice, DJ, rapper, producer, we've had Paul Carrick Brunson, matchmaker, TV host. We've had a whole host of people. We have like 60-something episodes recorded. You can all check those all out on my YouTube channel, Ask Dr. Renee. But today I'm so excited because we have Hydeia Broadbent. And for those that don't follow me, then you don't know that I am walking in the AIDS Walk Atlanta, September 29th in Atlanta. And actually, we have virtual walkers that can join us as well. But if you're in Atlanta, I'd love for you to join the team. But I'm really excited because she's going to be there too. And if you don't know Hydeia's story, then you're going to hear it today. But many of you do know, and I'm so glad to say that she celebrated 35 years. Was that in June? Mm-hmm. Your birthday was in June? Yeah. So she turned 35 in June, and that is a wonderful thing. And so I'm really excited to have her. So we're going to jump into it. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I'm going to do my best to read them. I will tell you my executive producer, Miss Foodie Engineer Alicia Matthews, is not available tonight. So apparently I didn't check the schedule with her before I scheduled this. But we're going to make it happen, Captain. And I will try to read them off of my iPad. So welcome, and thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. I'm taking the glasses off because I'm seeing the glare, and I know my EP is going to say, Renee! So I'll just take them off. So please, let's start out with, you were born HIV positive back in obviously 35 years ago, and you were adopted by an amazing family, right?
Yes, correct.
And so tell us from there, because when did they say, you have AIDS, or when did that come about?
So I was born, I'm a part of the first generation of children born HIV positive, which the term now is vertical transmission. So I'm a part of the group of children born through vertical transmission. I was born HIV positive, but having AIDS at the age of 3 years old. That's when I was diagnosed as having AIDS.
Okay. So for those that don't know, vertical transmission means she got it from her birth mother. Mm-hmm. And correct. Yeah. So like I said, for those that don't know, that's what that means. And so at 3 years old, I can only imagine, because I was a severe asthmatic, which obviously is no comparison, but I had to take meds every single day my entire life growing up. And by the grace of God, somehow I got off my asthma meds a few years ago. And that's the first time in my life that I have not had to take meds every day. But how did that look at 3 years old, having to take these medications? Well, I'm sure you had to take more than a few.
I did not really think about it. I was just a kid. I just had to take the medicine. I didn't really think that my life was different. I just did what I had to do.
And how many siblings do you have?
There's about probably 6. There might be 6 or 7 biological, and I think 6 or 7 adoptive. So it's like in and out of biological and adopted siblings.
So, but I mean, where did you fall in line with your family?
I'm pretty much the middle child.
Okay. So, but that's great that they did, just raised you like a normal child, so you didn't even know. Now, of course, you had to know once you started getting on television and stuff, though, right?
Yes, that's when, I started doing advocacy work when I was younger, so that's when I noticed. And it was a group of kids that really got together, and we were just trying to spread awareness, and that's what we did. So it was more so always a collective effort. It was always like a group of kids. And then once I started to do stuff myself, I really didn't paid attention to it. Like, I paid attention to it, but I didn't understand the magnitude of what I was doing. I didn't understand, the celebrity or the power behind it. I was just advocating, trying to help out other people.
Awesome. So, so did you went to regular school and everything?
I went in and out of school. I didn't really get to join school that much. So, yeah, it wasn't, it was in and out. I think high school, about the 7th, 8th grade is when I really started to go to middle school. And then I went to my senior year of high school.
Okay, that's nice.
Mhm.
So I know that you live on the West Coast. Did you stay where you lived, where you grew up, or did you move? Or
I've always lived in Las Vegas. I've just traveled. A lot of people didn't even notice where I live or where I'm based. But I travel everywhere. A lot of people thought I was a part of like the DMV, which I can understand because I went to school in Bethesda, and a lot of my friends were in Maryland, so I was down there a lot. There's not a lot of people just didn't even know where I lived for a long time.
well, that's cool. So I remember seeing stuff way back in maybe it was like probably around when you were turning 21. They were like, "Oh, she's an adult," and so as an adult, I'm sure you live a wonderful, full life. And I like the fact that you are advocating so you can tell people that you can still live a full life, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So when I met Hydeia this summer at the Essence Festival, I got a quick video from her to post for the AIDS Walk Atlanta. And so that was awesome. Did you speak at the event, or you were just there?
No, I was there with the Black AIDS Institute. I was one of the Raina Coppola, the new CEO and founder of the Black AIDS Institute. We had a panel discussion. Vanessa Williams from Soul Food was on there, and also a fellow ambassador, my friend Elle, was there as well. So it was a group of us that just had a panel discussion, and we talked about treatment as prevention. Elle talked about PrEP, the use of PrEP for HIV negative individuals. So it was just impactful and just informal, educational conversation I was really excited about.
That is awesome. So I love your hashtag treatment as prevention. So can you explain that further so people can understand?
Well, the hashtag of treatment as prevention is a collective effort. It is about individuals who are taking treatment, HIV prevention, to make sure that their sexual partners or child does not contract HIV. So it's making sure that if you are HIV positive, just being on your treatment, staying on your treatment, because we know that a person who is in treatment and undetectable has a 0% chance of passing HIV on to their fellow sexual partners. So it's just about encouraging people, treatment as prevention, educating, making sure that we are advocating for these laws, making sure that individuals who are HIV positive advocating for the safe awareness. We have unfair criminalization laws in many states that we are in the process of repealing to make sure that people are able to have beautiful, productive lives. We have individuals who, once they are aware of their status, are more likely to take preventions and making sure that other individuals do not contract HIV. So that's what treatment as prevention is. And I know that was a long breath.
No, that's fine. And then, but I also want you to talk about, so I'm sure a lot of people have seen the commercials, because I've seen the commercials for PrEP. And people, I'm sure, are like, what is that? Not, and some people obviously will pay attention, and others are like, what are they talking about? So I know that obviously is treatment as prevention. So can you explain PrEP?
So, for me, I just did a presentation in Washington, D.C. It was about Black women's health and changing HIV, and how are we going to end the epidemic. And so I was on a panel, and there was a young woman named Brittany. She's HIV negative, but, lived in Atlanta for a long time. She dated Black men, and she knows that the incidence of HIV can put her at risk. So what PrEP is somebody who is HIV negative, and they may want that extra layer of precaution. It's so they have a pill to help prevent HIV. So it's something that individuals have to take. It's something that they have to consider for themselves, see what the risk factor is, see if it's something that they want to do. So really it's for HIV negative people to remain HIV negative.
Awesome. So because like I said, I've been doing this work with AIDS Walk Atlanta. I know that PrEP, just like other HIV medicines, is very, very expensive. So that is one of the main reasons that obviously AIDS Walk Atlanta and other walks and fundraisers like that exist, so that we can actually pay for, so people don't have to pay for these drugs themselves and they can get them for free. So the AIDS Healthcare Foundation has clinics all over the world, not even just the country, but the world. And they allow people to come in and be able to get treatment, because everyone thinks that Magic Johnson is some anomaly because he's wealthy, but you and I both know it's just because he's on the meds, the same meds that everybody else takes. Nothing different.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the medicine
Right.
So the medicine that Magic Johnson takes are just antiviral medications, which is also known as a cocktail, which is the same thing I take. So as a person who's HIV positive, just making sure that I maintain my medicine, that he maintains our medicine, helps us make sure that our sexual partners are safe.
Amen. So like I said, unfortunately, these things cost a lot of money, but with these lovely foundations and all these wonderful people, there are ways for everyone to get help. So I'm sure that you, like I preach, know your status. And so there is so many different places and ways you can get your, find out your status for free. Do you have any kind of, maybe it's a website or someplace people can go to find out where they can go and get tested for free?
Well, I know there's, I think it's freehivtest.org. I'm not sure, or free HIV. I don't know exactly. I went on a blank, but I also know that the CDC has an app where you can find local testing centers, and also AIDS Healthcare Foundation has testing centers in their location. So you just look up online and research AIDS Healthcare Foundation or whatever local energy you can reach to get an HIV test.
And then also you can test at home. There are at-home kits if you go to your local drugstore. Ask the pharmacist to show you, but there are local kits, kits in the store that you can pay for, and then you can test at home, you and your partner, and you can find out in minutes if you're positive or negative, which is obviously very good information to know. So what does a day look like for you?
Well, right now my day is jam-packed with dealing with my niece. So she's almost 2 years old. So a lot of my time and attention goes to her. And I'm just ready to get back to work. I'm just ready to do work and travel. And I'm really excited about that.
So, once you do the walk, is there other things you have coming after that?
Well, I'm planning my 35th birthday celebration, which we are turning it into it's a celebration, but also will be a fundraiser so I can complete my projects around my documentary and other things. So it's a celebration of life, 3530, celebrating 35 years of life and 30 years of activism work. So that's where we're asking people to just help with if sponsorship or donations, just to complete this vision that God has placed upon my life. He sent me a strong impression and was like, you need to move, and it's time to move now. So I'm going with full effort, not stopping. And the purpose of my 35th birthday is just to promote love, acceptance, understanding. It's a celebration of life. I love to dance. I love to hang out with my friends. So I'm just excited to continue the celebration cross country. We're going to make it a tour. So I'm really excited about that.
That sounds like fun. And if you follow her on social media, you can see all of this. She dances. She has her friends, her niece. She has videos. And so you definitely follow her on social media and you'll see all this. And we'll have information about her fundraiser as well so that we can help her to finish this documentary, because I know it'll be powerful. So can you name some of the celebrities that you met and maybe your favorite couple, like stories about a couple of the favorite ones?
So celebrities that I've met that I really like, Mariah Carey, I love her. I recently met Janet Jackson again, which is really cool. We didn't really get to spend too much time, but our paths crossed, and that was really cool that she remembered the work I did when I was younger. And um, I don't know, that's it. I want to really meet Chris Brown. I
Oh
just like him
wow,
as
okay.
a performer, so that's what I want to do. Yeah.
I went to Chris Brown's concert last year, and it was very good.
Yes.
He is really, I guess he is like Michael Jackson. The full, I mean, he had a lovely show, just the dancers and everything. So I totally, I was shocked because I came there to see her, but
Mhm.
I saw he was the headliner obviously, and I saw Chris Brown and was like, oh my
Yeah, he's
goodness.
a
But
really
yeah,
good performer.
yeah, he's pretty amazing. I love Janet too. And I saw that you saw her recently. That was pretty cool. Janet is amazing. I've been to every Janet tour except for 2, I think.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so and I heard that she's doing the Rhythm Nation anniversary tour. So I'm excited about that because I might have to check that out. But and Mariah, I've never seen Mariah live, but I have 2 girlfriends from college that are Mariah's biggest fans, and they travel to see her. So, I think they've been to Vegas once or twice to see her already. So yeah, I like I said, I'm a fan as well. I've never seen Mariah in concert, oddly enough. But yeah, that is wonderful. Most people always say they remember Hydeia from the Oprah Winfrey Show. You were on the Where Are They Now when she got the OWN network too, weren't you?
Yes, correct.
I thought so. Yeah. So that's the one person we do have in common because I've sat next to Miss Winfrey as well. So.
Hi.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been to the studio and sat there next to her as well. So but that was just amazing. I remember seeing you because you're almost 10 years younger than me, and I remember seeing you on the Oprah Winfrey Show. And my mother has been in healthcare my whole life. She's now a priest, but she was always in healthcare. And then I became a doctor, and so I've always been intrigued, and I knew about HIV. And so it was very interesting to see your story, and it wasn't something I don't think that I necessarily remember them covering in school, but because, like I said, my mom was in healthcare, it was something that she definitely talked about with me and my sister. So we were quite informed for being, 10, 11 years old, but I think that the work that you do is just amazing, and I'm glad that you realize that God, because I will tell you this story. When I was younger, like I said, I have severe asthma, and I wheezed 24/7. So I never really could walk without wheezing. I always had trouble breathing. And I remember one day I was at the Sears store in 12 Oaks Mall in Novi, Michigan, and I sat there and I just started crying and said, "Why me?" Because breathing and walking was so difficult. And of course, like I said, I'm so grateful that now my breathing is so much better. I don't have to take any medicines every day. But I can only imagine you. But and I grew up with asthma. I had it my entire life. So I only knew one way. It was to take my meds every day. And I had to take breathing treatments. I remember the first Janet Jackson concert I went to, I had to take my breathing machine with me to the concert. And they stopped us at the metal detector and were not going to let us in. And my father had to explain why I needed it. And I had asthma attacks, period, but then not anxiety, but when I got very, very excited, it would be far worse. And obviously I'm here to see Janet Jackson. So, and we didn't know we were going to the show. My parents surprised us. So my father had to explain to them that I really did need to bring this breathing machine in just in case I had an asthma attack. And so they did let us in. But I just wonder, did you ever have moments where, and I'm sure you did, but moments where you were just like, why me? Why this happen to me?
When I was younger, I really just had to take it with a grain of salt. I did not understand my life being, horrible. I didn't look at it as being horrible. I was sad, of course, when you lose friends. That's the hardest
part. Say, yeah.
But like the struggle and the pain, I just kind of took it. I guess I was just walking around maybe not feeling good, not understanding what it was like to be healthy. Now, more so as an adult, when I get sick or go down, I'm like, oh, this is painful. I can't take it. I'm just going to lay down. So I see the difference as an adult as pertaining to a child. I think when I was younger as a child, I was just resilient and full of life. And now, it's constantly a struggle to, tap into the energy of positivity and staying focused. So as an adult, I noticed that struggle is much more prevalent.
I gotcha. And so my friend, she was kind enough to look it up for us. She said you can text your zip code to Know It 566948 to find a testing site, and you can get tested for free. So thank you, Bam, for that information. Appreciate you. But does anyone have any questions? Please feel free to chime in. We are more than welcome to take them. But I think that now, you're 35. Do you plan to maybe marry in the future, have children? What do you think?
I would love to get married. It's just I'm gonna have to meet in a very, 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 very amazing man.
Amen. Both of us. Yes.
Yes. That I would consider altering my life for. I haven't met him yet. He's going to have to be a remarkable man. And as far as like having kids and stuff, I don't know. It's such a permanent thing. And I'm just gonna have to it's just gonna have to be amazing. I don't know.
I understand. Because at 35, I was like, I'd like to, but when, I don't know. Now I'm 43, it's a different story. But I get it. And I have, my sister doesn't have any children, but my best friend has children that call me auntie. And so I have two nieces and a nephew. So 13, 8, and 13, 9, and 7. And so I'm Auntie Nene, and I adore it, love it. And then I have a 3-year-old cousin, so I understand the 2-year-old, because that 3-year-old little boy, I just left him last week, and my Jesus Lord, he has more energy than I think all the adults around him put together, but he's amazing. So I totally understand, and I love watching your videos with your niece, and it's too funny. But is there anything else that you want everyone to know, and places that we definitely need to go visit online or social media or whatever?
I would just say that right now, when it comes to HIV and AIDS, it's really important that we make sure that we are inclusive of our LGBTQ members, making sure that we are embracing and encouraging our young Black men who have sex with men, because they have the highest rate of new HIV infections among all the groups. And so it's just making sure that it's a place of acceptance, making sure that we are encouraging one another to be informed. We have the tools to prevent new HIV infections, but also we have to make sure that we ourselves are not being judgmental or outcasting people to where they're not getting the support that they need. And so I just want to make sure that we are advocating for all of our brothers and sisters.
Thank you. And that is, she's right. That is very, very important. It's no time to be judgmental, because these lives, there's no reason for people to be dying at this point. These lives can be saved. People need to not be ashamed, so that they can go get tested, and then they can go and seek treatment. And I think that's the problem. I know somebody that, I'm not sure if it was a shame or what it was, but when I found out that they died, and then I found out that that's what they died from, as a doctor, I was just stunned and shocked, because I said, but wait a minute, people are living forever and dying of normal illnesses like, heart attacks and strokes that have AIDS and HIV. So what happened? And it was just a simple fact of this person not taking their medication. Right. So like I said, I don't know if it was. And then, there's a whole compliance thing with the medication as well. And because actually that was one of the things I recently talked about with AIDS Walk Atlanta, is a whole compliance thing with the medicine, because you have to take your medicine, you have to take it on time, you can't skip doses, and it's very, very important. But you have to be very inclusive. You can't, especially with this being National Suicide Prevention Month, and Suicide Prevention Day was the other day. We don't want to lose anybody else because of that. That's just, it's crazy. You can actually live with this now. We have ways to protect others from getting it. So there's no reason that we should be eliminating or ostracizing any members of the human race. Everyone should just love everyone and go about their business and encourage people to know their status. If you know that people are practicing high-risk behaviors, and if you don't know what those high-risk behaviors are, you can look them up online. But if you know people that are practicing high-risk behaviors, then encourage them to know their status and to use PrEP if they're HIV negative. And I heard even HIV-positive people use PrEP if their partner is negative. I think I heard that. I think I read that somewhere. So, so that was, look, I have too much reading, too much writing. But I think that that also is a fact too. So definitely make sure, and you know, it's actually it's actually a federal offense, I believe. You can get in trouble with the law if you lie to somebody, right? And you have sex with them and you know that you're positive. So there's just no reason to do that, because I literally just read an article on Facebook, I want to say yesterday, of a man who knowingly had spread it to a whole bunch of women.
Right.
So, and he finally got caught.
We also have to be careful, because while there are people who disclose and inform their status, we have people who might get mad if someone breaks up with them. They're vindictive. And so we've had situations where also people have tried to use these laws as penalization to hurt other people. So we have to make sure that we try to protect people as much as possible for those who do disclose their status, and then also have the law kind of used against them, which is an unfair thing, because we have individuals who have STIs and STDs who can't be cured. You know, you have people who have herpes and there's not a conviction or a risk. So, right. I mean, when it comes to HIV criminalization, we just want to be careful about how we use those laws.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So I don't see any questions, so I'm going to let her go. But thank you so much for joining us this evening. And I will, if you will send me a message with the links to everything, I'll make sure that I put those in here and on Facebook, and as well as on YouTube when the video goes on YouTube.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening, and I will see you September 29th.
See you September 29th. Yay!
Yay! Okay, so thank you guys so much for tuning in to the first Ask Dr. Renee show in God knows how long. It's been about a year. Thank you, everyone. I so appreciate it, because as I told somebody, I think I was slightly nervous to do this because I hadn't done it in so long. But I'm glad that I got out there and did it. As I tell everyone, done is better than perfection. So I noticed at the end that her name was on the screen. Done is better than perfection. And so at least it's done. And I hope that you will donate to the AIDS Walk Atlanta. I will give you the link. We have virtual walkers that can't be in Atlanta. And then we have a lovely team of people. Well, there's a team that I'm on, and my friends have joined my team. So I would really hope that everyone that's in Atlanta, that's a friend of mine, will walk with me on September 29th. I hear the weather should be fabulous. So I'm very, very, very excited about that. So next week, don't quote me, but it should be next week, we'll have another episode, and I'm thinking the person is going to be somebody in the movie industry. So I'm very excited. It should be a great conversation, and you should be motivated and inspired and learn a lot. And so if you know others that would be interested in that, please let them know. Please share this video because I think that the information is very important, because unfortunately HIV and AIDS is still a conversation that has to be had. There are more cases of HIV being found every day, so in every part of the world. So therefore, we need to obviously keep talking about it. So if you could please share, I would greatly appreciate it. And everyone have an awesome night. This has been wonderful. Thank you so much. And please send your feedback. If you have people you want me to interview, let me know who they are and why you think they motivate and inspire me, because my guests motivate and inspire me, which I think in turn would motivate and inspire you. So tell me their story and maybe I'll interview them. But thank you so much and have a good night. Night. Hi, I'm Dr. Renee. I've been using Thinks period panties for about 4, almost 5 years now. I absolutely love that. First and foremost, because I'm not wasting money and gas going to the store to get pads, and I wasn't really a tampon user. I used them very rarely, so that's my biggest thing. Secondly, the way that pads feel, like you're always reminded it's there because you can feel it. I felt like I had a diaper on. I felt like everyone knew I was on my cycle because they bulged, because I'm a heavy bleeder. That's another good thing that you need to know. The third thing is they're great for the environment. And of course, along with saving money, I'm not ruining any clothes. I'm not ruining underwear. I'm not ruining my clothes because of the leakage, nothing. It's free bleeding and it's so amazing. No one would know I'm on my cycle unless I tell them. There's no odor, there's no leakage, and they're wonderful. And if you would like to try them out, $10 off using my link, and there is a money back guarantee if it doesn't work out for you. You can do that as well. But I promise if you try it, you'll fall in love with it. And there's a lot of other options out there. As a matter of fact, Thinks even has other options that you could check out. Check out the website, shethinks.com/Renee, RENEE. Bye.